الشجر المحروق الأخضر في ذاكرتي، لرفاق آلي في السجن أغني، لرفاق آلي في القبر أغني، ولجفرة سأغني، ولجفرة سأغني، سأغني لجفرة سأغني، ولجفرة سأغني، ولجفرة سأغني، سأغني لجفرة سأغني.
We have to become a million voices in the place of that voice. And for decades, the Palestinian people have remained steadfast. They've refused to go away. They've refused to be intimidated. They've refused to let the occupation break their spirit. And just as the Palestinian people have refused to go away, the allies of Palestine must refuse to go away. The governments of the world want you to be dejected. They want you to see these numbers of 80% and 90% and see that your voices have not mattered, so stop raising your voices. They want you to believe that all of these protests have been for nothing. But we are seeing in our own lifetime, finally, the Israeli propaganda machine is coming crumbling down. And if there are more people in the world saying free Palestine today than possibly ever before. And if they have the power of media and money, we have the power of the truth and the people. So, thank you once again for your support. Thank you for your solidarity. Please make sure that you continue to show up. Please make sure that you continue to reach out to people that you've seen before that have stopped showing up, that are feeling dejected. Continue to inspire. Continue to be inspired. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you.
Hi everyone. Like Fatin, I also wanted to speak about him today. Another story that broke all of our hearts, and another one that will live with us forever. The thought of a little girl, 6 years old, calling for help in an emergency, and no one coming to save her, and the two brave men who tried being murdered in cold blood by the occupation. I think of all of the calls and screams and pleas for help going unheard and unanswered, and all of our colleagues in health and emergency services getting murdered while trying to do their jobs, murdered while trying to help people. We think of the loss of our colleague, the esteemed Professor Fadal Abu Hamed, a prominent and acclaimed psychologist who was targeted and murdered in cold blood. What is happening in Palestine is an emergency, and it's been an emergency for 75 years. It's important to note that this is a manufactured emergency. It's not a tragedy, it's not a humanitarian disaster, it's not an inevitable reality. Specifically, this is a genocide. We need to be precise with our words because our words are important. 79% of us, of the Irish population, are looking this in the eye, and we're calling it what it is. It's a genocide by definition. It is neither complicated nor is it indecipherable. It's a tale as old as colonialism. It's a violent occupation. It's settler colonialism, a fight for survival and a struggle for freedom. We know this story, and we've lived some parts of it. Now, as this colonial terror is being unleashed to its fullest extent on our siblings in Palestine, we are bearing witness. We are not looking away. We are watching. We see the actors. We see the UK. We see the EU endorsing this, and the US as well, profiting from this. We see our own government's professed impotence because they are not powerless. They know exactly what they can do, and they are choosing not to do it. And we do not have to accept this cowardice, and we won't. Nearly 30,000 people have been murdered, most of them women and children. Each of their stories worth witnessing and telling, and each of their deaths worth mourning. People are not numbers, As a psychologist, a large part of my job is helping people to process loss. Losing one person who we love can feel world-ending. I think of what Palestinians have been forced to endure. I think of how much time and space it takes to work through people's individual traumas. And one of the most important things for trauma work is the establishment of safety in the present moment. At the present moment, Rafah, which had been designated a safe zone, is on the verge of a ground invasion under Netanyahu's instruction. There is no safe place in Gaza. This is criminal. And as my colleague Sam Al-Jabir says, the traumas that the Palestinians endure, they are intergenerational. They are enduring. And they're cumulative. Psychology as a field has a bad habit of situating the problem in the individual. We cannot continue to do this. We need to situate symptoms in their respective context. The power threat meaning framework asks the questions, not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you? How did it affect you? And what did you have to do to survive it? When I think about Palestine and the context, I think about the brutality of occupation. Rawad Hawali, a Palestinian liberation psychologist, spoke to the way in which it can feel like the oppressor occupies the minds of the oppressed. I think about Palestinian resistance and how this is the only sane response to the violence that they have endured. It is normal and understandable and human to be feeling this intensely, to be feeling numb at times, and to feel like we cannot bear what we are feeling. Don't judge this. Don't judge the feeling. Put it in its context and do not shut off or turn away from it. A lot of what we were feeling is love. It's love for Palestinians. It's love for Palestine. And it's a love of life. And I would say that our grief is love as well. Let that love fuel hope, and let that hope fuel action. It's on all of us to resist, but you don't have to be alone. We need to move from I to we to do this. We need to organise in our communities. We need to organise in our professions. We need to organise with our friends. If there's a group in your locality, join it. If there isn't one, start it. Let's go. You're not alone. You're not alone. And if your heart is breaking, you are not alone. Ours is breaking with yours. If you are incandescent with rage, we are too, and we stand with you. If you feel despair, you're not alone. And we're all going to work to hold hope as tightly as we can. Hope is a verb, and it's an act of resistance. We are not powerless. Liberation is not just possible, it's inevitable. Thank you. In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. We send our love to Palestine. We love Palestine. We love Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. We love Palestine. We love Palestine. Our next speaker is Carl's colleague and a long supporter and activist for Palestine, and he's speaking today from Teachers for Palestine. Please welcome Carl.
Good evening. We in Teachers for Palestine are a group of teachers working in primary and secondary schools, as well as adult education and third level. And we're horrified by Israel's treatment of the Palestinians. And in particular, we also focus on the Israeli state's attacks on education in Palestine. Whether it be through the disruption of schooling, the literal destruction of schools, or indeed the injuring and killing of our Palestinian colleagues and their students. Israel recognises the power of education. It recognises that an educated people does not settle for status as second-class citizens. Israel recognizes that educated Palestinians will one day be free Palestinians. This is why it is crucial to them to disrupt the functioning of education in Palestine as much as they can. Before the current genocide even began, they would force school children to face humiliation at checkpoints on their daily commute. They shut off electricity, seemingly at random, and fly fighter jets low above the rooftops, forcing Palestinian students to study by candlelight if they can indeed focus on their studies at all in such an environment. Israel understands that if it is to produce people who are willing to participate in a genocide, then they must indeed restrict the education provided to Jewish Israelis as well. Israeli academic Nurit Peled Elhanan has researched the role of the Israeli education system as a tool of propaganda. Describing how Palestinians are portrayed in Israeli school books, she said, "The only representation is as refugees, primitive farmers and terrorists. You never see a Palestinian child, or doctor, or teacher, or engineer, or modern farmer." This institutional racism is how Israel produces a generation of soldiers who are not only willing to participate in a genocide, but to brag about it on social media. Shame. In Ireland, we value education. Our history has taught us the crucial role of education in our advancement and in our own liberation. And Israel's attacks on education give us a sense of déjà vu around our own history. To expand on this, I'd like to talk about some of the remarkable Palestinians we in Teachers for Palestine have gotten to know over the last few months. Lamise Tomei is a 17-year-old school student living in the West Bank. She has grown up under military occupation and is currently studying for her final exams, and she hopes to become a lawyer so that she can help her people. She recently described the IDF coming into her town in the morning and having to go to school extra early, quote, or to stay home, quote, "just to avoid meeting them on the street, because I don't know what they are going to do. So I prefer to stay home, be late for school and not lose my life." As teachers, we are rightly very conscious of the pressure placed on students in Ireland as they prepare for their Leaving Cert. I am in awe at young people like Lamise and her resilience. She is a credit to her people and a testament to the value Palestinians place on education. It goes with saying that as bad as things are in the West Bank, they are much, much worse in Gaza. Mohammed Al-Azami is a teacher based in Gaza. He runs a small English language school and organises for teachers around the world to have video calls with his students so they can practice their English with native speakers. He describes the school community as one big family, something we as educators can absolutely relate to. Since the current genocide began, some of his students and their families have been killed. Some are still missing and may be lost under the rubble. He and his surviving students and their families have been forcefully relocated to the small town of Rafah on Gaza's southern border. In his words, "Rafah is the most crowded place in the world now. Most Gazans were forced to move here. People are on the streets. No houses, no shelters, no food, no water, no electricity, no services. Children are crying on the streets. People got so old, exhausted, frustrated, and heartbroken." Mohammed has spent the past few months not teaching lessons, but doing the pastoral work of raising funds and supplies to give to his surviving students and their families. And although we know this genocide has not stopped, this week he has asked for volunteer English teachers once more, as he plans to reopen his school and resume his students' education. Once again, the Palestinians teach the rest of us the true meaning of resilience and the true value of education, the true value of life and the true value of freedom. Palestina.
Thank you, Colonel. 1,000 people on the streets. This Saturday we need it even bigger. So join us Dublin. It's a national demo, so people are coming from all around Ireland to come here. We're gonna be gathering at the Garden of Remembrance at 1 p.m. and then we'll march to the Department of Foreign Affairs.
And it's a global day of action.
That is a global day of this is showing solidarity. So please show up, bring your friends, your relatives, everybody to the march, and see you on Saturday. On Sunday the 18th, the day after this, we have a big event which is happened in Gaza. I can't remember what year. They broke Guinness World Record of flying kites on Gaza's beach. So this Sunday the 18th, we're going to be at Sandy Mount Strand at 1 p.m. to show solidarity and fly kites with the Palestinian murdered in Gaza. We would like to have thousands of kites. So anybody here, they can start a project from now, going home and say, okay, it's either a family or friends or a community center, GAA, anywhere you can think of, and start making kites, design kites, and come fly them on Sunday the 18th, Sandy Mount Strand at 1 p.m. So I would love to see you there. You have all our website information on our website, www.ipsc.ie. Looking forward to seeing you then. Until then, keep up talking about Palestine. Don't stop talking about Palestine, and boycott apartheid Israel until we dismantle this apartheid regime. I'm going to give the mic now to our lovely Wala to do a few chants and we'll wrap up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm a little bit sick today, so I will ask you to be louder because I can't be so loud. Let's do a few chants, and as I said, we're warming up for next week, our national Doma. We need so many people. Tell your friends, bring a friend, make sure to be there. So, from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
I think we can do more. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
They hate it when we say this, so we say it loud and we say it clear. From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
I want you to repeat after me. It's a chant that is still new, right? So, Biden, Biden, you're a liar.
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 We demand a ceasefire.
We demand a ceasefire.
We demand a ceasefire.
We demand a ceasefire.
Biden, Biden, you're a liar.
Biden, Biden, you're a liar.
We demand a ceasefire.
We demand a ceasefire.
Biden, Biden, you're a liar.
Biden, Biden, you're a liar.
We demand a ceasefire.
We demand a ceasefire.
Oh, Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Oh, Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
We will never let you die.
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 Because in our millions, in our billions,
We are all Palestinians.
in our millions, in our billions.
We are all Palestinians.
Free Palestine. Thank you.
Can I just just want to announce something. It's really important. Yeah, Conal, here you go.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to mention, by the way, if anyone here is interested in volunteering, we're looking for retired teachers or any teachers who can commit a few hours a week until June to teach primary school kids in Muhammad School in Gaza. The details are on our social media, Twitter and Instagram, Teachers for Palestine. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Thank you, Willa. And thank you very much for coming, and looking forward to see you Saturday and Sunday. Start making kites. Start making kites, okay? We'll see you. We'll fly them on Sandy Mount Beach.
Say a few words in
تحية لكل شهدائنا، المجد والخلود لشهدائنا، النصر والصمود لشعبنا في فلسطين وين ما كان، في غزة الصمود، في الخليل، في طول كرم، في نابلس، في حيفا، يافا، نابلس، في كل بقعة في فلسطين. لكم كل الحب والصمود والسبورت، الدعم من شعب إيرلندا إلى فلسطين. والحرية لأسرانا، أسرى الحرية في سجون الاحتلال. نحن معكم وإلكم، وإن شاء الله النصر قريب. تحية تحية فلسطين. تحية تحية فلسطين. تحية تحية فلسطين. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. Thank you. See you Saturday and Sunday. Start working with the kites. Thank you.